All right, welcome back to Eric's Juke Joint for Bourbon 101, lesson number 2. What is a mash bill? You might have heard that term pop up here and there. A mash bill, simply put, is a grain recipe. When you go into the kitchen to bake a cake, you got a recipe you got to follow. That's all a mash bill is. It's what percentage of grains go into the sour mash that ultimately becomes the bourbon. Or the whiskey, actually. This term applies to all different kinds of spirits. But a mash bill for bourbon has to be at least 51% corn. It has to also have malted barley because that aids in the fermentation process, or is actually necessary for the fermentation process. And the third grain can either be rye or wheat. And the wheats give you more of a sweet, more approachable entry-level bourbon. So if you're a new bourbon drinker or you want to find out if you like bourbon, that's a good place to start. Ask a bartender for a wheated bourbon. Some good examples: Maker's Mark, Larceny, all the Weller products, just off the top of my head, Old Fitzgerald. All those are good wheated bourbons that I recommend. And then the other grain is rye. That can be used in place of wheat and is actually more common than the wheated bourbons. And rye gives bourbon a spicier flavor profile. Some would say more interesting. There's definitely a little more there. A little more of a variable on the tongue. And the more rye, the higher the percentage in the mash bill, the spicier the bourbon will be, and the lower percentages, the more approachable that bourbon would be. I think 13 to 15% rye is a really nice area. If you've tried the wheated bourbons, you like them, you want to introduce yourself to rye, start with something in the lower rye end. Some of the Buffalo Trace products, like Buffalo Trace itself, Eagle Rare, E.H. Taylor, those are all kind of lower percentage of rye bourbons that are good for you to give a try. And then if you really like those and you want to move up to something spicy, then you can go to Four Roses or Old Grandad or something like that. But that's what a mash bill is. So that's the end of lesson number 2, and we'll see you soon for lesson number 3.